Chosen one. Stop for a moment, take a deep breath, and listen carefully. Because there is something you need to understand about the people who left your life. You have spent so much time asking yourself why. Why did they change? Why did they stop caring? Why did someone you trusted suddenly become distant? Why did the person you thought would always stand beside you become the person who walked away? You replayed conversations in your mind. You remembered old memories. You looked at old pictures. You wondered if you had said something wrong. You wondered if you were not good enough. Maybe you even blamed yourself. You thought, maybe if I had tried harder, maybe if I had been more patient, maybe if I had forgiven them one more time, maybe they would still be here. But chosen one, what if you were never supposed to keep them? What if their departure was not your failure? What if it was God's protection? Sometimes you are crying over a person that God is trying to remove from your future. You are asking God to bring them back, while God is asking you to trust Him enough to let them go. And I know that is difficult. Because when you love someone, you don't immediately see their negative intentions. You remember the good moments. You remember the laughter. You remember the conversations. You remember the times they were there for you. And those memories make you question why the relationship had to end. But God sees what you don't see. You see the smile. God sees the intention behind the smile. You hear the words. God knows what was said when you weren't present. You see the friendship. God sees whether that friendship was helping your destiny or delaying it. You see today. God sees tomorrow. And sometimes, God has to remove someone today because He already knows what they would do to you tomorrow. Think about that. There may have been a person in your life who you wanted to keep forever, but God knew they were not supposed to enter your next season. So He created distance. At first, you hated that distance. You wanted to close it. You wanted to fix everything. You wanted to send one more message. You wanted to explain your heart. But every attempt seemed to fail, and eventually, you became tired. You stopped chasing. You stopped explaining. You stopped begging. And slowly, you started healing. That was not an accident. That was God teaching you something. You cannot force someone to value you. You cannot force someone to respect you. You cannot force someone to remain loyal, and you definitely cannot force someone to walk into a future God never designed for them. Some people are only meant to walk with you for a chapter, not the whole book, and that is okay. You don't have to hate them. You don't have to expose them. You don't have to prove to everyone what they did. Sometimes the greatest response to betrayal is silence, not because you are weak, but because you have finally realized that your peace is more valuable than an argument. Chosen one. There was a time when you wanted everyone to understand you. Now you are learning that you don't need everyone to understand you. You only need to understand your purpose. You don't need everyone to believe in you. You need to believe in what God placed inside you. You don't need everyone to stay. You need the right people to stay. And there is a huge difference, because some people can be physically present while emotionally destroying you. Some people can call themselves your friends while secretly competing with you. Some people can tell you they love you while secretly hoping you never become successful.
Some people will celebrate you only when you are below them, but the moment you start growing, their behavior changes. And sometimes, God allows you to see their true character before they have the opportunity to damage your future. That is mercy. You may have called it heartbreak. God called it protection. You may have called it rejection. God called it redirection. You may have called it loneliness. God called it preparation. You may have called it failure. God called it a lesson. You may have called it the end. God called it the beginning. Chosen one. You have been through a season that changed you. You are not the same person you were before. You used to trust quickly. Now you observe. You used to explain everything. Now you understand that silence can speak for itself. You used to chase people. Now you let people choose whether they want to stay. You used to fear being alone. Now you understand that being alone is sometimes better than being surrounded by people who don't genuinely care about you. This is not bitterness. This is maturity. This is growth. And God is preparing you for a different level of life. But before He gives you something new, He often teaches you how to release the old, because you cannot hold yesterday and tomorrow at the same time. You cannot keep one hand on your past while expecting God to place your future in it. At some point, you have to let go. Let go of the person who stopped choosing you. Let go of the friendship that became one-sided. Let go of the relationship that constantly made you question your worth. Let go of the version of yourself that believed you had to earn love. Let go of the need to be accepted by everyone. And most importantly, let go of the guilt. You did what you knew how to do with the understanding you had at that time. You made mistakes. They made mistakes. You learned. You grew. Now move forward. There is no reason to keep punishing yourself for a chapter that God has already closed. Chosen one. Your future is waiting for you. There are opportunities you haven't seen yet. There are people you haven't met yet. There are places you haven't visited yet. There are blessings you haven't experienced yet. There are prayers you haven't even thought to pray that God already knows you will need. So don't allow one painful chapter to convince you that the entire book is going to be sad. It won't. There are better days coming. There is peace coming. There is growth coming. There is a version of you coming that will make you proud, but you have to keep walking. Even when you don't understand, even when you feel alone, even when nothing seems to be changing, because sometimes God is working in places you cannot see. A seed grows underground before anyone sees it above the ground. And your life can be the same. Just because you don't see progress doesn't mean nothing is happening. Just because the door hasn't opened doesn't mean it will never open. Just because you haven't received the answer doesn't mean God didn't hear your prayer. Maybe the delay is preparing you. Maybe the silence is protecting you. Maybe the closed door is saving you from something you don't know about yet. Trust the process. Trust the timing. Trust that what God has for you will not require you to destroy your peace to receive it. The right opportunity won't require you to become someone you're not. The right people won't constantly make you question whether you matter. The right relationship won't force you to beg for basic respect. The right environment won't make you feel like you have to shrink yourself just to fit in. God is not taking you towards something that requires you to lose yourself. He is taking you towards something that will help you become who you were created to be. So if someone leaves, let them. If someone misunderstands you, let them. If someone chooses another path, let them. You don't have to run behind anyone. Your destiny is not dependent on someone else's decision. Your future is not controlled by someone's opinion. Your value is not determined by who stayed and who left. You are still valuable. You are still capable. You are still worthy of love. You are still worthy of peace. And your story is still being written. One day, you will meet people who don't make you question whether they care. You will have conversations where you don't have to pretend. You will experience relationships where effort goes both ways. You will wake up and realize that the chaos you once thought was love was actually just confusion. And you will thank God for removing what you once begged Him to keep. That day will come. But until then, don't go backward. Don't reopen doors simply because you are lonely. Don't return to people simply because you miss the memories. Sometimes you don't miss the person. You miss the version of life you had when they were around.